Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Melanie Cassar, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Commander Jocelyn Blowfield. We warmly welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem. If able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where family and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Private Albert James Arthur Hucker. Albert Hucker was born in Mackay, Queensland, on the 3rd of August 1895, the only child of Alice and Arthur Hucker. He attended Mackay State School and later worked as a carpenter. He was a member of the local Senior Cadets Unit, and when Britain declared war on Germany in August 1914, he trained with this unit on Thursday Island for 4 months. Hucker volunteered for service in the Australian Imperial Force in February 1916. Because he had had experience in the cadets, he only spent a brief period training in Australia. In early May, Hucker embarked for the war aboard the transport ship Siang Chun. Arriving in England, Hucker trained at the army camps on Salisbury Plain. In October 1916, he sailed for France. Soon after his arrival, however, he was admitted to hospital with mumps, a disease that was common in the crowded training camps. He recovered by the end of November and then joined his unit, the 26th Battalion. The 26th Battalion was then stationed in icy and damp conditions in the Somme River Valley. On the last day of the year, Hucker was evacuated to the French coast and admitted to hospital with influenza. He recuperated for the rest of winter and rejoined his battalion at the end of February. With the spring thaw, the German forces had made a strategic withdrawal to a fortified line known as the Hindenburg Line. British and Allied forces followed up this withdrawal and were caught up in heavy fighting at several points along the line. The 26th Battalion attacked and occupied the village of Lagnicourt at the end of March. During this battle, Hucker was wounded in his left arm. He was evacuated to a hospital before being sent to England to recover. Hucker spent 3 months in England, again at the training camps on Salisbury Plain. He returned to his unit in France, July 1917. At this time, British commanders turned their attention north to the region around the Belgian town of Ypres. Seeking to push the German forces out of the Flanders region, the British began a series of large-scale assaults. The 26th Battalion took part in the battles of Menin Road and Brucinda Ridge in late September and early October. On the 9th of October 1917, the battalion came under a German artillery bombardment at a location known as Thames Wood. Hucker and 3 other men of the unit were killed by a single shell. It is unclear whether Hucker's comrades had an opportunity to bury his body. After the war, a soldier from the 26th Battalion reported to Hucker's mother Alice that her son had been buried where he fell. The exact location of his last resting place was lost. Today, Albert Hucker's name appears on the Meningate Memorial in Ypres, one of thousands of Australian soldiers who died in Belgium during the war and have no known grave. Private Albert James Arthur Hucker is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private Albert James Arthur Hucker, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the Director and staff, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today and for your continued support of the Memorial's development project. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.